Will bug wash work as waterline antifreeze in an RV? Yes, it will work as waterline antifreeze, but there are differences between the two products. Waterline antifreeze is designed to be poured into the drain, and then it won't evaporate, whereas windshield washer fluid, you pour it into the drain and then about a week later it's all evaporated and there's just some blue residue left. Just as it's designed to go on the windshield and evaporate and give you a streak-free windshield, it will evaporate from the drains. And if you look on the waterline antifreeze, it says burst protection to -50, non-toxic. And if you look at windshield washer fluid, it's toxic. I don't think it's a whole lot toxic. Contents harmful, may catch fire. I've never seen bug wash catch fire, but maybe if all the water evaporates out of it. May cause blindness if swallowed. Oh, it's got glycol in it. Possibly has glycol. Okay. Contains methyl alcohol. If swallowed, call Poison Control Center or doctor immediately. If person is alert, do not induce vomiting. If in eyes, rinse with water. If breathed in, move person to fresh air. So that's the main difference between the two. One is poisonous and one says it's non-toxic. So if you're drinking the water from the lines in your RV, then use the waterline antifreeze designed for it. If in a pinch and you're not planning on drinking the water, bug wash will work. Like if you're traveling somewhere and then all of a sudden it's going to be -20, and you're like, oh no, what do I do? And then the RV store is closed. Well, you can throw some bug wash in there. And I think once you run the water through it a little bit, I imagine it wouldn't be too bad. But do as you wish. It can be done. It works, but the reason I'm here today is because I winterized the RV with bug wash this year. If it's really cold all winter, then there's no worries, but if it gets a little bit warmer, you may want to come back and throw some actual waterline antifreeze in the drains, because the traps in the sink will evaporate the bug wash, and then it will be open to your gray water tank. And it might smell in there. You know, the gray water tank is from your shower and your sinks and stuff. It's not the black water tank, which holds all the poop and whatnot, but the gray water tank is open. You know, it is a wastewater, a little bit of wastewater. So, you know, if you're washing your hands or your hair in the sink, it could be a little bit smelly in the gray water tank. So it would be a good idea if it warms up to put the proper stuff in. But you can winterize it with the bug wash, but do that at your own risk. It will work. It just evaporates out of the lines and evaporates out of the traps in the sinks. And the reason I did it with the bug wash is because we're not drinking the tap water. It's just for showering and washing. And I will make sure and run it for an extended period of time before we start washing dishes and stuff with it. But you know, I'm not too worried about it. Keep that in mind if you're trying to save a buck. Just make sure you clean out your system really well when you go put the water back in. Because this does have poisonous stuff in there. Yeah, so this contains methyl alcohol. So alcohol evaporates. Not 100% sure what methyl alcohol is, but it's an alcohol. So that's not as bad as a glycol, I imagine. But it says it still causes blindness, so I don't know. And this one is ethanol. I think the main ingredient in it. It says contains ethanol. Yeah. So this one, this one contains ethanol to keep it from freezing. This one contains methyl alcohol to keep it from freezing. So, and methyl alcohol is poisonous, whereas they say ethanol is non-toxic, but it's still poisonous. You know, it just maybe non-toxic because it's something you can drink. Ethanol, that's like moonshine. But I wouldn't drink this stuff. It's definitely not very good for you. So the main differences are ethanol and methyl alcohol. I don't like the smell of this stuff. It really really turns my nose a bit. Smells bad. Whereas the bug wash, I don't mind the smell of it. You know, it smells kind of like Windex, you know. But yeah, this stuff reeks, you know. Like when you go into an RV after it's been sitting all winter, that smell in there, that's the winterizing agent. So I don't know, maybe you can find one that smells half decent, but I really don't like the smell of this stuff. And after you pour it in the sink, you got to make sure and wipe the residue. Because if you don't, it will evaporate and it'll leave the red residue on there, and it could possibly stain. Whereas the windshield washer fluid is not going to stain anything. That residue will just come off of there if there's any kind of residue. The difference is it just evaporates a lot quicker than this stuff does. And this stuff is good to -50, whereas this stuff is only good to -35. But you can get them where they're, you know, -45 kind of thing. This stuff will freeze, but it doesn't expand. This stuff, if it freezes, it's just like water freezing. It will expand. But we haven't got colder than -35 this year. So last year is -40. This year hasn't got colder than -35. Okay, so I got the appropriate stuff back in the drains. It stinks again, but at least the drains aren't wide open to the gray water tank, which may be even stinkier. So even though this windshield washer fluid evaporates, it won't evaporate from within the lines. If there's an open line somewhere, like if you have a tap open and there's the windshield washer fluid in the line, it will evaporate out the line. But if everything's sealed off and closed, you'll still have the washer fluid in the line at the end of the year. This stuff doesn't evaporate, but this stuff does.